Hey there, 8th graders and supportive parents. Today, we're diving into the study guide for Test 10 in your 8th grade Science Abeka course. First things first, make sure you've printed out your study guide. This will be a hands-on walkthrough, and you'll want to have it ready to fill in as we go. And if you don't have the study guide printed out just yet, no worries. You can find a link in the video description below that will take you directly to a copy of the study guide. Feel free to print it out so you can follow along more effectively. This way, you won't miss a beat as we explore each topic in detail. Ready? Let's get started. Let's explore the world of science together. Our journey through the study guide will cover multiple choice questions, completion sentences, short answers, and a bit on true or false modifications. We'll explore fascinating topics like the coldest point in the atmosphere, types of air masses, and the mysteries of lightning. Let's start with the multiple choice section. Remember, I'll read out the question and the choices, then give you a moment to decide on your answer. Ready? Let's go. What value represents the brightness of a star as viewed from Earth? A. Stellar magnitude. B. Apparent magnitude. C. HR magnitude. D. Absolute magnitude. What is a chunk of space debris that has reached Earth's surface? A. Bolide. B. Asteroid. C. Meteoroid. D. Meteorite. Which scientist proposed a system in which Earth and all other planets orbit the Sun? A. Nicolaus Copernicus. B. Galileo Galilei. C. Tycho Brahe. D. Johannes Kepler. How many planets were known to ancient astronomers? A. 1. B. 3. C. 5. D. 7. What star is located at the North Celestial Pole? A. Antares. B. Vega. C. Thuban. D. Polaris. What is Saturn's outermost major moon, which orbits in the opposite direction of most other moons? A. Phoebe. B. Iapetus. C. Enceladus. D. Mimas. What evolutionary idea claims that the solar system formed from a cloud of gas and dust? A. Disk theory. B. Nebular hypothesis. C. Protoplanetary hypothesis. D. Accretion theory. What happens to Earth's orbital speed when Earth approaches aphelion? A. Orbital speed remains constant. B. Orbital speed increases. C. Orbital speed decreases. D. Orbital speed fluctuates. What is the primary factor that determines the brightness of average stars in the main sequence? A. Temperature. B. Color. C. Side. D. Luster. What is the smallest type of structure formed by a group of galaxies? A. Supercluster. B. Clump. C. Cloud. D. Cluster. Which of the following stars is part of the Summer Triangle? A. Antares. B. Algol. C. Altair. D. Aldebaran. Which of Neptune's satellites experiences the coldest known temperatures in the solar system? A. Callisto. B. Oberon. C. Triton. D. Mimas. What is a rapidly rotating neutron star that emits directional beams of radio waves? A. Nova. B. Pulsar. C. Nebula. D. Supernova. Why can the Sun's transition region be studied only using space-based solar observations? A. It releases ultraviolet radiation. B. It releases destructive solar winds. C. It has extremely hot temperatures. D. It causes solar flare eruptions. What type of star is cool, small, and dim? A. Main sequence star. B. White dwarf. C. Nova. D. Red dwarf. What was the first object to be classified as an asteroid? A. Ida. B. Ceres. C. Dactyl. D. Eros. Which planet travels most rapidly through its orbit? A. Venus. B. Mercury. C. Mars. D. Jupiter. If a right triangle were drawn with the Sun, the Earth, and a star at the corners, as shown below, which angle would represent the stellar parallax? A. Angle at the star. B. Angle at the Sun. C. Angle at the Earth. D. None of the angles. The next part of the guide is all about filling in the blanks with the correct terms. I'll read each statement and give you a moment to think about and write your answer. A star-like object, believed to be made up of a large black hole surrounded by a glowing ring of gas, is a blank. The only planet to be discovered mathematically before it was seen is blank. The distance between two objects on the celestial sphere is measured as a blank. Aristotle taught a blank view of the universe. The two groups of asteroids that travel in Jupiter's orbit are called blank asteroids. Spiral and irregular galaxies commonly contain large clouds of gas and dust called blank. The phase in which the Moon has a bulging shape and is growing larger is called blank. Now, let's go through each question for multiple section 2. Write the letter of the correct choice in the blank. I'll read it out loud and you'll have a moment to pick your answer. Which of Jupiter's moons is the most volcanically active in the solar system? A. Ganymede. B. Callisto. C. Io. D. Europa. What other property of a planet's orbit does Kepler's third law relate to the planet's average distance from the Sun? A. Eccentricity. B. Perihelion. C. Aphelion. D. Period. What is a trail of space debris left by a comet? A. Meteor shower. B. Asteroid belt. C. Comet tail. D. Meteoroid stream. What astronomical distance measurement is based directly on the speed of light? A. Light year. B. Parsec. C. Astronomical unit. D. Minute of arc. What is a loose, asymmetrical clump that contains tens, hundreds, or thousands of stars? A. Triple star. B. Open cluster. C. Multiple star. D. Globular cluster. What is an object so massive and dense that not even light can escape its gravity? A. Quasar. B. Neutron star. C. Black hole. D. Nova. Which constellation contains the teapot asterism? A. Gemini. B. Sagittarius. C. Andromeda. D. Perseus. What is the imaginary band in the sky containing the moon and planets? A. Planetoid. B. Zodiac. C. Celestial equator. D. Ecliptic. What is the main reason that Pluto is no longer considered a planet, but is instead considered a dwarf planet? A. It is near objects not controlled by its gravity. B. It does not have a spherical shape. C. It does not directly orbit the Sun. D. It is smaller than Earth's moon. What evidence indicates that the Sun is spinning? A. Activity of spicules. B. Streams of solar prominences. C. Movement of sunspots. D. Eruption of solar flares. Which of Mars's 2 moons orbits closer to the planet and more quickly? A. Phoebe. B. Ophelia. C. Deimos. D. Phobos. Which of the following stars can be found by tracing a line from Orion's belt? A. Sirius. B. Arcturus. C. Castor. D. Polaris. What is the central portion of a comet called? A. Jet. B. Coma. C. Nucleus. D. Tail. What is the brightest summer star? A. Rigel. B. Deneb. C. Antares. D. Vega. What is the only planet that takes longer to rotate on its axis than to orbit the Sun? A. Uranus. B. Mercury. C. Venus. D. Mars. What are the light-colored streaks surrounding a lunar crater called? A. Terrae. B. Rays. C. Maria. D. Oceanus. What constellation is pictured below? A. Gemini. B. Leo. C. Cygnus. D. Orion. What is the visible part of the Sun? A. Corona. B. Photosphere. C. Chromosphere. D. Transition region. What feature of lenticular galaxies can help distinguish them from spiral galaxies? A. Solid disk. B. Bulging nucleus. C. Spherical shape. D. Central bar. What constellation contains the star Alderaan? A. Gemini. B. Andromeda. C. Taurus. D. Cepheus. Now, let's start with the short answer section. I'll read each question, and you'll have a few moments to write down your answer. What are moons that help keep a planet's rings in place called? What is an extremely bright meteor that explodes in midair called? What term describes the composition of interplanetary space? What term refers to the backward rotation of a planet on its axis? What type of star group travels outside the boundaries of the Milky Way in an unusual orbit around the galaxy's center? What type of partial eclipse occurs when the moon is too small to cover the sun entirely, leaving a ring of light around the moon? What is the outermost layer of the sun's atmosphere called? Next up, let's tackle the modified true or false section. For each statement, if it's true, write true. If it's false, I want you to replace the underlined word with the correct term to make the statement true. A group of stars that are used to form a picture or represent an object is a constellation. The planets closest to the sun are the outer planets. A comet that takes 150 years to complete one orbit is a long-period comet. The largest planet in our solar system is Jupiter. A star that is always above the horizon at a particular latitude is said to be circumpolar at that latitude. The Hertzsprung-Russell diagram is used for classifying asteroids. The largest known mountain in the solar system is Tharsis Bulge. Moving on to multiple choice, section 3. Write the letter of the correct choice in the blank. Based on what we now know about the cause of planet orbits, why would it be impossible for the sun, moon, and all the planets to orbit the Earth? A. Because of their orbits' shapes, the planets would crash into each other. B. Because of their orbits' shapes, the planets would begin to orbit the sun. C. Because of the sun's gravity, the planets would crash into each other. D. Because of the sun's gravity, the planets would begin to orbit the sun. Halley's Comet completes one orbit about 76 Earth years. Uranus requires about 84 Earth years to complete one orbit. Based on this information, which of the following statements must be true? How do you know? A. Halley's Comet comes closer to the sun than Uranus does because objects move more quickly when they are closer to the sun. B. Halley's Comet stays farther from the sun than Uranus does because objects move more quickly when they are farther from the sun. C. Halley's Comet is, on average, farther from the sun than Uranus is because objects with a farther average distance to the sun then orbit more quickly. D. Halley's Comet is, on average, closer to the sun than Uranus is because objects with a closer average distance to the sun orbit more quickly. Which of the following characteristics do Uranus and Venus have in common? A. Both have a hydrogen and helium atmosphere. B. Both have a backward rotation. C. They have similar densities and sizes. D. They have similar masses and gravities. Jesus was crucified around the day of Passover, which falls on a full moon. Matthew chapter 27, verse 45 records that during the crucifixion, there was darkness for 3 hours in the afternoon. From a scientific point of view, could this darkness have been caused by an eclipse? Why or why not? A. No, because a lunar eclipse can occur only during a new moon. B. No, because a solar eclipse can occur only during a new moon. C. Yes, because a lunar eclipse can occur only during a new moon. D. Yes, because a solar eclipse can occur only during a full moon. Which of the following statements best explains the difference between an asteroid and a comet? A. Asteroids do not have tails. B. Asteroids are made of metal or rock. C. Comets are found in the outer solar system. D. Comets move among the planets when orbiting the sun. Which of the following statements best explains why the celestial sphere is useful to astronomers? A. The celestial sphere allows identifying constellations. B. The celestial sphere contains the ecliptic. C. The celestial sphere represents the view from Earth. D. The celestial sphere allows measuring angles. Lastly, we have the essay section. Today's question is a deep dive into the past, and a comparison with our present understanding of the solar system. I'll read the essay question. In his work Divine Comedy, the 14th century Italian poet Dante described a trip into space. As he traveled away from Earth, he visited the following celestial bodies in order: the Moon, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn. What view of solar system structure did Dante hold? How do you know? Compare this view with a modern understanding of the solar system's structure. You've done an amazing job following along through our 8th grade Science Test 10 study guide. Remember, science is all about curiosity, asking questions, and exploring the world around us. Parents, thank you for supporting your young scientists on this educational journey. Keep studying, stay curious, and you'll do great on your test. We believe in you. See you in the next video.